Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I'm having issues with my setup here. Actually late because I had to go downstairs and wake up one of the kids, but it's all like, I don't know what I did, but it is recognizing the monitors in a different order. So let's see here. Well, let's start out with the music. There we go. This one needs to... So when that happens, I have to open this page up. Come on, fancy zones. There we go. Wait, why is it not? Okay. Is Aqua Snap on? Aqua Snap will pick up the key bindings and screw the key bindings up. But it looks like that's not running, so why they're not doing the cool thing? Oh, that's fucking... There we go. Now it does it. Okay. These got to come over. Now we need Aqua Snap. Oh, Jigsaw's probably not connected, is it? No, it's connected. Okay. Come on. You got your house repiped yesterday? That sounds like a pretty wild modification. There we go. Let's get this the right size. Keys over here. Just minimize it. Now we gotta fix our sources here. Is it because can't I don't know. Parts needs to be a lot less invasive and messy than I thought it would be. 41-year-old copper under the slab finally took. Ooh. Yeah, that was bad. Okay, so over here. Over here. Okay, cool. So now, where is my volume chart? Volume profile. Well, that's no good. We don't want that. Okay, so here we go. On Friday, well, we had like that big up move. What was the big up move about again? Some flight to safety bid on, I can't even remember now, but that was coming out. But we're kind of pointed up again in the treasuries. And here you can see the S&P 500 kind of, you know, it's curious to me when I get on social media, people are still like, oh, there's a market crash happening and this is like super crazy stuff and yada yada. And I'm just kind of like, this is pretty pedestrian. But okay, whatever. They've recovered a little bit. We'll see what they do today. Oil, on the other hand, oil has a big problem. You think we could see $50 a barrel oil? That would be so crazy to me. Silver. Gold and silver. You know, they took a hit. Kappa actually doing okay relative to the other metals. Japanese yen. Well, that's not right. Where'd my dollar index go? Okay. Ooh, it did it on this one too. I wonder why it did that. Some Ninja Trader weirdness. So we can see the dollar index, well, the Japanese yen rather took a bit of a dive. But the dollar seems to be going okay. Very interesting. $10 a barrel oil, gas, still $3 a gallon. Yeah, you remember when we had like negative oil in the futures, and like the price of oil still never, the price of gas rather, never really came down that much. It's true. Speculators at the rates that comment true. So I'll just come along here. I'm not sure I know what's going on today. Did see Amazon AWS identifies root cause of widespread internet outage. Apparently they had an issue in the US East data center. Oh, I feel like I'm missing out on some of the fun. I bet you the guys at the contract job that I just did probably. Well, I don't think that they would be too affected, but they do have stuff in US East. But things that if the services are up and going again, I think that they should be okay. Paramount is laying off up to 3,000 employees starting this month. Oh, well, that's not that many. Didn't Nestle say they were doing 16,000? Kushner, Trump believes Israel is, quote, getting a little bit out of control. Yeah, the peace deal over there sure sounds... I mean, like, the issue is if they lay down their weapons and everything and then return the hostages, and then the larger peace deal doesn't hold, it doesn't really give people much of an incentive to deal next time around, you know? Any new jobs? No. I've been, when we were started like applying stuff in the beginning, lots of stuff to apply to. And this past week, not as many things. So I think that I was catching the jobs that were being posted like for the new quarter sort of a thing. And that's over. Push my share a little bit too low yesterday. Because kids were... kids. I hate that if we're doing something at the computer, the kids insist that they sit on my lap. Because like having a kid sit on your lap for like hours is not comfortable. The 19.5, 20.5 target zone on the upside. Oh, that's interesting. You know what? Something that I find interesting about these targets is that we tend to be pretty close to one of them when the session starts, don't we? Like, I really haven't seen a situation where we were near the extended session open and had the whole way to go. You know, it's always like just 4 to 6 ticks away. Anyways, well, S&P 500 is taking a jump there. I think somebody must have reported some earnings or something. Oh, White House Economic Advisor Hassard, I think. Excuse me, sorry about that. Shutdown is likely to end sometime this week, says Hassard. Oh, that would be good news. That would be good news. Do you think that some companies will be willing to, or rather feel more confident about opening up roles and things like that? Not so sure about that. So here again is this really weird thing when it comes to like inflation versus jobs. When companies are fundamentally afraid and are more focused on efficiency than they are hiring people, can you get inflation in that scenario? Just kind of... The more I think about this, like the longer this goes on, and it's hard for me because I know that I have a bias. Like, I really, really need lower interest rates, right? Like the tech industry is cooked right now. We need lower interest rates. That will help us find a job more easily. Lower interest rates, companies put out more positions, because right now there's just too many people, even in an area as niche as mine, there's too many people applying. So I have that bias, but it is just like the further along this gets, the more and more I think about how just dismal this economy is, even though the stock market is at like highs. It really feels to me like the only thing keeping this economy alive is actually high asset prices, because stocks are high. If stocks weren't high, then the upper class would not have the money to be able to go and spend, and then this consumer spending based economy where like 50% of the consumer spending is coming from the top 10% of people wouldn't stay afloat if asset prices came down. And I tell you what, I don't think I've ever seen a situation where there's more people. I think I've said this before, and like it ended up being nothing, and it's kind of like foolish after the fact. Like, yeah, no, that wasn't really the case. But now it's really the case. I don't think I've ever seen a market where there are more people convinced that the market is in a bubble. Yeah, am I crazy? It feels like everybody I see out there is complaining about that the stock market is too high. It's really wild to think about. Let's see here. 2s and 5s are both coming off their first standard deviation. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're saying you think that because the 2 and the 5 both got to their first standard deviation, next one is going to be the 10-year, and in that scenario, it's very likely that it hits as well. Ooh, that would be such a great stat. You know, sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to write all this stuff down, but then I realize, yeah, if I wrote all of this stuff down, there's no way that I'd ever be able to get to all of it. We could probably keep a small quant team going with all of the weird questions that we ask. How often is it that the 2 and the 5 touch their first standard deviation, but the 10-year doesn't? That would be curious. I bet you, though, be very, very rare, huh? My guess is they'd be very rare. So now on this news, though, about the shutdown. I'm sorry, maybe I'm being a little bit too ADHD because I just split between three topics. I want to go back to the other topic in a second, but if the S&P 500 was jumping because of the shutdown ending, why did we only see a significant move in the S&P 500? Why are the treasuries practically dead? Also, there's something wrong with my indicator here. Let's look into that. I actually fixed the thing that we were looking at on Friday. Kids were good for me. I tell you what, I really have not had a whole lot of time, primarily because I made the video that we're making today, that we're putting out today at 7:30, which is about this TE Smart KVM switch. It's a crazy KVM switch. It's triple monitors, supports high refresh rates. It supports Mac. It is like the ultimate, like if you're a work from home guy, you've got a desktop and a laptop, you've got 3 monitors. This is the ultimate upgrade, which is what I'm using for the thumbnail. So I tell you what, some of these, it's funny because this is the one that I kind of didn't want to make this video, but it's really like far and away the coolest one. So we got that video. That took a bit of my time. And then I've got an interview tomorrow that I really, really care about. Like, man, this is so frustrating because like I don't want to be attached, you know, because I know that out of any job that I interview for, like the chances that you get it, like there's a certain, only one person's going to get it and like 5 people are going to, you know, so it's like a 1 in 5 chance or whatever. I do think I'm really, really qualified for this one though. I think it'd be hard pressed to find somebody, because this one's for a staff cloud engineer. I think you'd be really hard pressed to find somebody that understands the DevOps, but also understands the applications on a really is like a programmer. That's one of the things is a lot of the people that go into DevOps, they don't understand programming. They don't know how any of that works. But then also is creative enough to be able to explain things to people and mentor people and things like that. So I think I'm really qualified for it. I really, really want this one. So I'm going to study hard for that today and tomorrow. And then maybe we can get into the GUI a little bit. But on Friday, I did have some time and probably not enough to really do like a focus session on the GUI. I really think I need to do those when there's no kids around at all. But these indicators, because I'm much more familiar with them and all of that, I debugged it. It was a silly issue. It was actually kind of funny. After I fixed that issue, I thought that the indicator was being really slow. And so I looked into that, and it seems that it was just because I was debugging. So I made all of these optimizations to it, small optimizations that don't really change the calculation. But yeah. So I'm a little frustrated. I come in here and I'm seeing a bug with it. So let's go in here. It's going to be actually, let's open it like this. HX ZN 1 minute market order imbalance 2025 10 20. And this is the bar at about 613. So right when it's going to be like tracking, right? No, not when it starts tracking. Oh, there's some problems here, folks. Oh, no, wait. I'm just too early. Yeah. There it is right there. Okay. That line's not right at all. Wait, can I get the... Yes, I can. Time. Imbalance. Curious. Curiouser and curiouser. Okay, but imbalance, buys, sells, running, buys, running, sells, recorded live. This one was not recorded live. Current unknown 20. Running unknown and unknown percent. Oh, okay. So it was on a historical bar. Because I bet if I come in here, that's not what we want. refresh. Still there. Wait, what is this? Where is this coming from? Why is that? That makes it even more weird. So I'm trying to think, how could I have introduced a bug like that? That's a pretty wild one. Hmm. Amir, good morning. Did I delete the right one? Okay. So curious. Whoa, oil is taking a huge dive all of a sudden. And I do have my new squawk on. There's got to be a headline coming in here. That was a big move in oil. I have definitely screwed something up here. Is it really that? Yeah, I've definitely made a bigger mistake than that because... Oh, no, wait. It should be in the 50s. That's okay, but... Like that. That. It seems like the calculation now is messed up. But for some reason, when we're running it historically, it's messed up. It seems to me that I should be removing the previous bar before we do this update here. And okay, that explains the issue right there. Wait, what if... Why do I do it again? I'm having one of those moments where I'm like, how did this ever work before? Which is, to me, an immediate, like, I'm forgetting something. I did this before and I'm forgetting something. So why would I go and recalculate it? I know that you can't see the code or what I'm talking about, but you got to laugh along with me. For a programmer, you felt like that. I do the thing. It has to have been something to do with, adding volume from the previous bar. Huh. I bet it's probably an off by one error. Oh, come on. So close. Oh, to the target. It's one password being weird. I wonder if one password is being affected by AWS outage. Weird. Hmm. I'm a little concerned here. It's weird that when I type sheets into the Windows search, it gives me Excel, which is what I wanted, but. Where is this? No. Looking for the format text. Because it did not paste it correctly. Oh, here we go. Text to columns. Okay. So. If I add all of these together, sum of these. Wrong. Not even close. Okay, well, I'm just going to guess. See what it does. That's not right. That is right. It's not +1. What's wrong? What is wrong? So that column right there is wrong also. Let's find that. Where did that start from? Three and 20, 23. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dot, 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 dot. It's staying on. If current bar is greater than or equal to period and period is greater than 0. So if current bar is greater than 10, greater than or equal to 10. Running unknown equals running unknown minus that would explain that one. Whoa, wait, what? Wait, what? Oh. I think I know what's wrong. Hmm. 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 You know what? That didn't actually help. Okay, that's correct. At least it's better. So part of the issue was I was in the wrong workspace. So let's just double check here. Only have this workspace open. We got the 10-minute on here. What if... I really need to clean things out, don't I? Ha. Was not a problem in my code. It was a problem with the data. Although I am still a little bit like, how is this working? I don't understand this part, but I knew what I was doing when I did it. I'm a little bit concerned because I made more changes to this than I thought that aren't synced up to Git. So if we do it now. Actually, probably still wrong. Yeah. We got the 19.5 on the profile, but nothing got to trade. Yeah. And it's turning down. But I think because the S&P 500 has turned up so hard, right? You know, I've been thinking about not caching the running buys and running sells numbers and just having it calculate it raw. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense to me now. Except for this part. It's probably time for me to check on the kids, huh? I don't know if I actually compiled that. Let's double check here. New book. I don't think that changed anything. Oh, you know what? I'm doing the wrong thing. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I saw a couple of people talking about services being down, Webull down, some others down, perhaps due to the Amazon AWS. Yeah. Well, so this is something that I don't like to talk about because I had an experience where I was talking to somebody about the issues with a distributed service like that. And there are a lot of trading applications that are trying to turn them into web services, right? But basically, if we go in here and are like, what are the risks that will prevent us from trading that day? Okay, so one is your power, your power, your internet, your machine, your software. Okay. If you add it as, then there's also their data, their software. So when I say their software, I mean like there's like they introduce a bug into it, right? They add an update and that introduces a bug into it. Okay. Versus your software is like you've done something on your computer to screw it up, right? So you can kind of mitigate this one by just not updating their software. Fix it by not updating, right? You mitigate it. Okay. So let's say this one it has an X next to it. Okay. Now we take it into as a service. Okay, these things still apply. If your power, your internet, your machine are screwed up, then you're not going to be able to work. Now this one doesn't really make sense because that, it's on their side, right? Their data, their software. You can't mitigate this one, right? And so the issue is you're taking this risk that you screw the software up on the site, because this one is kind of like we could get rid of this one, honestly. Like if you're smart, you know what the software is doing, right? You're never gonna screw up your computer, or you have a machine that's separate so you don't do anything else with it, right? Let me delete that one. Okay. So basically what happens is by putting it as a software as a service, you're putting yourself more at risk for them screwing up their software. Is what it really comes down to. And the thing is, if I'm running an application on my machine, like Jigsaw, especially if I run Jigsaw and I only run it like a really simple setup, right? Like that will run forever and never crash. That is never going to be the case with a web service. The whole thing is those applications get so complicated, it's just impossible to keep track. It's impossible to keep track of it. It's impossible to keep track of it. When I was working on, the place I was working at, 6-month contract didn't have huge apps, but the place I was working before that, which ran like customer relationship software for dealers, there was some sort of an issue almost every day. So can you imagine you're trading on that? It's not as stable as it seems. And then on top of that, I've had many, many issues where there was just some issue with the cloud provider. And this is where this was really going. It's like I'm like the translation application that they were working on. The only two like instances of downtime that we had, like where the service wasn't available, was because the Google network, like the Google Cloud network, had a hiccup that didn't even show up as like a, like an outage. But like the network there went down for a split second and like crashed the server. So like it's not uncommon for AWS to go down. I think we have this assumption that like AWS, so like those cloud services, like those will always be up. They're immaculate. It's not true. When you're running a big app like that, like one of the things that I did the job before that was we had to have everything generalized so that we could switch the application over to a different cloud instantly if we needed to. So if AWS was down, we would bring it up in Azure. And that's why I think for trading, for the most part, better on your own machine. But I don't know. There is the latency argument. That one might be legit. Well, let's see here. The treasuries are turning down a little bit. It's not like huge. I'm still thinking about this. So what I do in my indicators, like the smart thing to do, I guess. I don't know if it's necessarily a smart thing, but if you have a bunch of betas, instead of saying, okay, the sum is all of these together, you keep track of it on a rolling basis. You say, okay, I'm adding this one and I'm taking this one away. That way you're only doing 2 calculations instead of 10. And the complexity of the algorithm is consistent with regardless of the sample size, the period that you're putting on there, right? But for some reason, it's just not working. Now, it might be because if it's already screwed up, you know? Actually, 5 days. 1 days. Honestly, I'm a little suspicious of those numbers. Like, the frustrating thing is that I didn't change that much in it. So, like, I'm frustrated that it's showing up like this. And the other thing is that this one does appear to be working correctly. I don't know. Those numbers do look different. they're the same. Why does it start? This is the very first bar. Where it's taking this the 17th. Like, if it's the very first bar, how is it, where is it getting 47.15 from? So I think that maybe the algorithm is right, but that it's just like a beta piece is screwed up. And then if these don't match each other correctly, then it's going to be screwed up later. But that's maybe a good reason to do the other way of summing them. I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to have to take a kid to school, so I'm going to stop streaming. I'll figure it out later. In the meantime, guys, you know, it was kind of a, I don't know, it wasn't like a terrible session, but I mean, it's kind of interesting. We did have a pretty major piece of market news come out. But why do they think that the shutdown is going to happen? This is going to end this week is also a little bit like, okay, we'll see. Anyways, guys, I will see you later. Stay excellent, team.